Letter to Evelyn from American Independent Beneficial Association. Dear Mrs. Strongen, in reply to your letter of October 1st, please be advised that we have credited your account with the premium originally paid for your husband, Philip Strongen, for the period from September to November 1942. The premium has been applied for the next quarter, December 1942 to February 1943. Your next payment is due, therefore, on March 9, 1943. We trust that this arrangement is satisfactory to you. Very truly yours, John A. Ross, Assistant General Manager. Evelyn to Phil, October 12, 1942, 6:30 p.m. Darling Daddy-to-be, it's always been one of my great pleasures receiving mail from you. Friday's letter was one of the sweetest yet. You sound so happy, young and full of life, and since we are one, I can't help but feel the same things. I'm actually full of life, as no one can deny. Sid Brown sent us a letter dated September 28th, and also a picture. He looks like a million. I understand it takes from 2 to 3 weeks for his mail to reach us, and God knows how long for our mail to reach him. I intend to send him a letter sometime this week. Milton is at Camp, page 2, Shelby, Mississippi, and so far, so good. Did you know that he saved up $1,000? Aha! Doesn't sound possible, does it? Incidentally, Sid hasn't much to say. The supplies are pouring in, and he's kept very busy. Heretofore, he had been on lineman work, but was transferred back to supplies. Jack and Harry went back to the car after supper, about 10:30 p.m., and finally managed to get it to 4000 North 9th, where it stopped dead. It was then 2 a.m., so they took a taxi home. Harry had someone push the car here today, bought a new part, tinkered, page 3, with it a while, and then gave up. I don't know what they plan to do now. I have an idea that car is ready for the dumps. Jack got a letter from home, and evidently things are pretty bad, for they asked Jack to send every dollar he can spare. I also understand that Sam and Ann are going to move alone and contribute $5 weekly toward Mrs. Nierenberg's support. Jack couldn't get up this morning and didn't go to work till 10:30 a.m. Today, autumn shone forth in all her glory. It was cool, clear, sunny, and windy. I was as busy as a bee and didn't get a chance to take advantage of the weather. Your things are washed and pressed, page 4, and ready for you. Do you know, baby, that each weekend with you is a heaven on earth for me? My, quote, former boyfriend and present husband, end quote, is a wonderful creation, and I am happy that I can reproduce it. Our child is going to have a good start with a daddy like you to take after. I hope all went well last night and that health, wealth, and happiness will forever be yours. And if you don't mind my changing that phrase, I'd like to add, your Evie. P.S. Everyone sends love and regards. P.P.S. Look under the envelope. Phil to Ev, Monday, October 12th, 7:10 p.m. My darling wife, arrived safely, but I'm still surprised. As you know, I reached the station about 9:55. When I got there, I heard that there was a wreck somewhere along the line, and the whole schedule was disrupted. Trains were running 2 and 3 hours behind schedule, and lady, was I sick. In the first place, the station was so jammed, I thought any moment someone would be trampled. You never saw such pushing and shoving. However, by 12 o'clock, the crowd had thinned out. The train finally rolled in about 12:45 a.m. All I remember is getting on the train and waking up when we reached Harrisburg at 2:30 a.m. I slept like a log all the way and got a good crick in my neck for it. Well, there was no possible way I could get to Middletown. The buses had stopped running at 5:30 a.m. Taxi fare was $2.50, which is just too steep for yours truly, and there were no other fellows bound for Middletown that time of the morning. So I tried the only alternative, the old thumb. About 10 minutes and, page 2, 20 cars later, who should happen along but the sergeant of our platoon, who was returning after a 3 days leave. So we both waggled our thumbs at about 30 more civilian bastards who didn't even slow down to laugh at us. Finally, however, 3 a.m., a few buddies of the Sarge's came rolling along and picked us up. Boy, were we tickled. You can imagine how tired and cold and disgusted we were, especially when there was no prospect of any sleep that night. When I did get to sleep, it was 3:30 a.m. I dropped right off and slept like a top till 5:30. So altogether, I had about 3.25 hours sleep last night, which isn't bad considering the fact that it might just as well have been nothing at all. But that is not the end of my tale of woe. After drilling from 8 a.m. till 11 and eating until 11:45, I was sort of tired, so I lay down until 1 when we were to fall out, I thought. That is, I thought I'd nap till 1 o'clock. When some sixth sense opened my eyes, the barracks was empty except for me. No wonder. My watch showed 1:30. I scrambled down to the drill field to rejoin the group, but it was deserted. So I came back to barracks, where some fellows who had been on warehouse detail had come in the meantime. But this time, my watch said 1:40. The fellows said my gang was drilling about a mile, page 3, away in the opposite direction. I figured I might as well join them since they wouldn't be back at 3:30. And if some officer took a notion to look in at the barracks, I'd have a time explaining my presence there. When I got to the field, the fellows were taking a 10-minute break. I slipped in among them, and my absence was never noted. So ends the saga of a rather hectic day. Or is it ended? Anyhow, to cut down the odds against anything out of the way happening tonight, and to catch up on some much-needed sleep, I'm turning in as soon as this is posted. Good night, Angel. I love you dearly. My love to all. And Jack Nierenberg. Satisfied, Jackson? Thumbs up, Chippy, and maybe, well, who knows, maybe I'll kiss you yet at 9 p.m. Remember? I only have to stay awake 55 minutes more in order to do so. Your sleepy hubby, Phil. Z's. Postcard from the War Department, Washington. Your application for family allowances under Servicemen's Dependents Allowance Act of 1942 has been received, and the above application number has been assigned thereto. Please do not make further inquiry concerning your application, as you will be notified when final action has been taken. If it becomes necessary at any time in the future to communicate with this office, it will be necessary for you to state the application number shown above and the full name and Army serial number of the soldier. Initial payment will not be mailed prior to the dates blacked out. Address communications as follows: War Department, Allowance and Allotment Branch, Building Y, 20th and B Streets, Northeast, Washington, D.C.